Welcome to the Kingdompreneur Life Podcast with your hosts, Doreen and Pat Martin. Doreen and Pat became Kingdompreneurs after being in full-time ministry with Bishop T.D. Jakes. They've raised two out-of-the-box thinkers, Elisha and Hannah, that caught the entrepreneurial bug at the early age of 15. Pat, also known as CP, is a real estate investor, speaker, author, and coach. Doreen, or Raw Doreen as some know her, is a board-certified holistic health practitioner and business strategist. Together, they became top income earners in their network marketing company. They are passionate about giving you tools, ideas, and inspiration to take action in your business and spiritual life. Each week, they'll bring you an inspiring person or message to help you live a God-centered, holistic life that is uncluttered and rich with purpose. And now here's your hosts, Doreen and Pat.
All right, welcome to Kingdompreneur Life Podcast. This is episode 22, and we have a special podcast for you guys today. It is going to be amazing because we are interviewing our eldest child, and he's a millennial, he's an entrepreneur, but we are interviewing him today so that you can get a glimpse into our kids' lives.
Okay, so babe, we're getting ready. Like you said, we're going to interview Elisha. 26 years old, started his...
No. You are not going to read his resume.
Oh, hold it. Keep talking.
He is going to give his resume. You
Okay.
are not.
All right. So he can give his own resume.
Exactly.
So he's a business person, and has he ever had a job?
I don't know. Eli, have you ever had a job? This is Eli, our son.
Hello. Technically, I did have a job.
You
One
did?
time working at the paintball field.
Oh,
Oh,
my gosh.
yeah,
That's
okay.
Right.
That was a trade out, though.
No, I worked weekends.
So let's share a little bit about Eli. He has been a special child from the time he was born. And by special, I mean his brain worked like an entrepreneur from the time he was little. So let's just share, babes, you and I share a couple of stories about him when he was little. Just two. We'll share the clothes story with school, the gym clothes, and then let's share...
Oh, hang on. Turn it back to you.
Let's share about the gym clothes, and then let's share real quickly about the lawnmower.
Lawn guy, yes,
let's
that's
share
what I
that
was
story.
thinking, the lawn
and
guy.
And then we'll do some questions
Okay.
with Eli.
So Elisha was maybe sixth grade, fifth or sixth grade, somewhere in there. And we had got a house that we rehabbed, and we were living in it. And so I told my son, I said, look, kiddo, I think it's about time you start mowing the lawn, and I will pay you. And let's talk about putting some serious money in your pocket. I said, look, what do you think of this? I'm paying the guy $30 a week to mow the lawn. And I said, how would you like to put $30 in your pocket? And he goes, God, Dad, that'd be great. And so the next week goes by, and I fire my lawn guy. And so next thing you know, I hear a truck pull up in front of the house, and I hear a trailer, the back gate comes down, and all of a sudden I hear this lawnmower start up. And I'm thinking, it's got to be my neighbor, but the guy's parked in front of my house. Okay, no big deal. And he's going to mow the neighbor's lawn, except I hear the guy mowing my lawn. And I'm like, whoa, what the heck? So I go out there, and the guy shuts his lawnmower off. And I said, hey, excuse me, hey, there must be a mistake, blah, blah, blah. And the guy, he starts to talk. And next thing I know, behind me comes my son, of which my son had negotiated ahead of time. He says, Dad, I'll be more than happy to pay the lawn or mow the lawn, but you got to pay me ahead of time, $30. Sure enough, I give him the $30, and so when this guy shuts his lawnmower off, my son comes out, and my son's holding up a $20 bill, and he goes and puts $20 in the guy's hand. And he turns around and he looks at me and he takes a $10 bill and he snaps it a couple times and he says, hey, Dad, the less I do, the more I make. Thank you for the $10. So my son actually brokered out and basically wholesaled and flipped the lawn job and made $10.
That was just one of the. Do you remember that, Eli?
Oh, I do.
That was just one of the things. Eli's brain, from the time he was little, like just always looked for ways to make money. And so another one was in school. Tell the one about school with the gym clothes. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So when I was in school, my classmates for gym class, they would technically fail the class if they did not wear gym clothes. And there was a specific set of clothes you had to buy because it had the school's name on it. So they would fail. And
Like a T-shirt and a pair of shorts.
yeah, a T-shirt and a pair of shorts. And I realized that I could, when I went to wherever we buy them, Walmart or Target, remember where.
It was Walmart.
Walmart. I would pick up extra gym clothes because...
Excuse me, who would pick up the extra gym clothes?
One of you guys.
Okay.
But that was until I actually made enough money to buy my own.
Right.
Yes. So I would rent out gym clothes every time I would have gym class, and I would make, I don't know, what, $10 every time, so like $10 a day on just gym clothes. And they were cheap to begin with, so I didn't understand why. And $10 a day was a lot for being in sixth grade, seventh grade.
It wasn't $10 a person. It was like
$10 in total. Like, I mean, it was basically a dollar for the class. Like, you wanted to wear gym clothes, it was $1. So 10 people, $10 a day, easy money.
I remember too. I remember going to Sam's Club and we bought Monster drinks.
Yep.
Oh,
and you
God.
would also sell Monster drinks at school too.
Yeah, Monster drinks for $3 a piece, and at Sam's Club it was like 24 of them for $30. And every time I would have a Monster, my buddy would always want one. So I just started bringing more to school, and I would sell like 5 or 6 Monster cans in the morning at $3 a piece, and you know, I'd make money back very quickly that way. So it always came with whenever I had something, people wanted it.
So Eli you started your business when? You were how old?
15.
15 and in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And tell that story. How did you get started being an entrepreneur? I know that they might know that when mom and dad were in the real estate, we were flipping houses. You were, with us. You were little. You would go with us when we would flip houses. You were the one that would put the cabinets together.
Cabinets, flooring, anything that needed to be put together, I did it.
So you saw mom and dad being entrepreneurs, and then around what age did you become an entrepreneur yourself? And tell everybody what you went into.
Probably 14, 15 years old. I noticed my dad doing teleconferences and teleseminars, and then we eventually did webinars. And at the time, my dad was having issues and he needed help. And I realized this was something that I could do and provide a service for. At 15 years old, it was a market that wasn't even tapped into yet, that was just starting up. So at that point in time, I saw an opportunity and took it. Didn't know what it would lead to, but I had to at least do something with it.
And are you still doing webinars today?
I am. I'm doing selective webinars still to this day, 10 years later, surprisingly.
So you actually, in your webinar business, you actually like record and then replay, tell exactly what it is that you do, and name some of the people that have hired you to, work with them.
Oh, geez. Let's see. A couple of the hiring people that I've done between Preston Ely, Nathan Jerwitz, what is it?
The OxyClean guy.
Yeah, the OxyClean guy. Greg.
Anthony Sullivan.
Yeah, Anthony Sullivan.
Anthony
Greg
Sullivan,
Wells.
the OxyClean guy.
How about the ClickFunnels guy? Did you do anything for him?
Yeah.
Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson to
I think you even did Allie Brown.
Cody Sperber even. Allie Brown.
So you
I
did.
have a list.
Yeah.
There's a huge list I've done webinars for
Some pretty high-profile people.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So today you have a select clientele. You don't take everybody for your webinar business because you want to do those people that you enjoy working with and
Correct.
not those that are going to be high maintenance.
High maintenance and just overall aren't pleasant to work with, but I'm not saying that they're all unpleasant. It's just nature of the business. So
Exactly. All right, so let's talk a little bit about last year. So last summer we came down to Ecuador for a vacation, and you decided to come with us. Share with everybody what you thought when we first got here in Ecuador. It was our first time really in a third world country, and you being 25, 24 at the time. What were your thoughts when we came down here for a vacation? What did you think about this place?
I didn't know what to expect, first of all. I mean, just going to a third world country and then having a different outlook prior to coming down here, it wasn't what I expected at all. After I got down here, it was completely changed my mind, just outlook, thought-wise, not what I expected. It blew me away.
What did you think of the people, kiddo? What did you think of where we were, being on the beach, and so? What did you think of why your parents got involved with the orphanage, and how you made friends? What did you think of
the culture?
Yeah, the culture.
Yeah, it's a completely different lifestyle, and the way that people treat you too here are unlike in the States. It seems to be more open and less hostile, I should say, for sure. People in the States are they're first to react negatively and not wanting to talk to you, versus here they would want to talk to you. They don't mind opening up or saying hi or anything.
So then after we left having a summer vacation here, we go back to the States and we tell you that we're going to move to Ecuador. How does that sit with you? What do you think about that?
Actually, I'm pretty sure I was mentioning to you guys, let's come back in January. Let's come back in January. I want to come back in January. And I didn't actually think you guys were going to go with it. And then one day you guys just came and were like, hey, we want to actually move there in January. And we started looking at the paperwork, and I was just like, I'm totally on board. This is what I want to do. And it only took 2 months being here to make that decision. So awesome. I knew it was right.
Do you have anything you want? I mean, I've got some more questions, but I didn't want to keep asking if you got some questions.
No, baby, keep going,
okay.
keep going.
Okay. Okay, so how do you feel like it's the difference between living here and living in the States? What's one big thing that you would tell people that the difference in living in the States versus living in here?
For me,
yeah, for you.
Stress. Stress and simplicity.
It's more stressful here or less stressful?
Less stressful here.
And it's more simple to live here?
It's more simple to live here. This has probably been my less stressful year after arriving here than any of the years previous.
Well, kiddo, just tell people, some of the stress and stuff that you're going through when you had your business. Well, when you still have your business, but when you're really, hitting it with your business, did you have employees?
Yeah, I had employees, but I mean.
And give people an idea of maybe what you brought in a week when you, with all these webinars and the business you're running with employees and so forth, so they can understand maybe some of the types of stress that you were under, and maybe how many webinars you were doing like in one day, and maybe in one of these big launches, how many laptop computers and servers and stuff like that you had in our office.
Yeah, I had, at any given time at the height, I was doing probably 8 to 12 webinars in one given day at one time. Like, that's not even spread out throughout the day. I was doing 8 to 10 webinars on Thursday at 9 p.m. like everyone likes to do.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. And it was stressful having to run 2 different internets to make sure everything was going okay. At the height of my business, I was over 6 figures a year, and that's a lot of webinars in 1 year.
Would you say that's kind of a lot of money for a teenager?
That is a lot of money for a teenager.
But again, I think, like we realized, he also realized, at a much younger age, of course, than us, that having a lot of money also brings with it a lot of stress and a lot of responsibility, and you have to weigh, is it worth it, the money, with the stress? And I think you can speak for yourself, I don't want to speak for you, but just in your own physical health took a hit.
Oh, yeah.
And so being down here, not being in the stress, just share a little bit like how the not being in the stress, you deciding how many webinars you want to do, you slowing down your business and still living comfortably, but not having to burn yourself out. Well, how has that affected your body?
Back in the height of doing webinars, I was getting no sleep and going to school daily. Considering webinars would keep me up, doing 8-9 webinars, I have to render all those files. I have to make sure and produce them in a timely fashion because everyone wants them immediately once the webinar is finished. So I mean, if once a webinar, 2-3 hour webinar is done, they want the file within 2 hours, 2-3 hours, and it's like they don't want it next day, they want it fast. So it's like I'm up through the night and I didn't sleep. Horrible sleeping, horrible eating, and it really took a toll on me personally. And yeah, I got gray hair at 26 now thanks to that.
I know.
I thought it was thanks to your dad.
Oh yes, thanks to my dad.
And he also went through the phase of having the toys, So since we've been down here, you have lost how much weight?
When I first came down here, I was 240, 245. And at the current time right now, I'm at like 188, 187.
And you said to me you tried losing weight in the States, but it was just really difficult because of the stress you were under.
Stress. I went to the gym. I was going. It was probably 3-4 months. I was eating right, or somewhat eating right, but I was going to the gym, and I just couldn't lose the weight. The stress, anxiety, and the lack of sleep, just it doesn't help, and I couldn't lose weight.
So this is somebody that learned our lessons that we took us into our 40s to learn, but he learned it now at a young age. Just that, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. If it was for everybody and if everybody could do it, they would be doing it. But it's difficult to be an entrepreneur. It has its pluses and its benefits, but it is a difficult road. And I think, we all have lessons to learn about entrepreneurship and the balance and how to not put so much stress on our body. I'm so glad that he's learned at a young age now, at 26, what he wants as far as the stress load and type of work and what he doesn't want. He's not waiting till he's 40 like us,
right,
to figure that out.
And plus, once I got down here, it wasn't even I was watching what I was eating or even going to the gym all the time like I was in the States. I was just living a more stress-free life, and it was...
And the food's cleaner down here,
yeah,
too.
the food is cleaner. And just in, I would say, 4 months' time, the weight was just coming off. Like, it was just a huge release, and it really opened up my eyes to see how much stress I was under. Because in the time, I didn't even realize the kind of stress I did have. Because to me, it was just normal from a young age. That was just what I was used to. And there was no major downtime.
That was his norm.
Yeah. That was.
So, Shiraz, what is one of your favorite things about living here? Just one thing that's like your favorite.
Just friends, the type of people you meet here. It seems more genuine. They don't...
The level of friendship, maybe.
Yeah, the level of friendship. They're not there because you have something to offer them. They're just there to want to be your friend. They want to hang out. They want to chill, and it's enjoyable.
So do you think it's hard navigating and living down here because you don't speak Spanish fluently?
No, not at all. People are there to help you, even the security, to the police, to the mall security. Like, if you have a question, they don't even mind helping you, and it's fairly easy.
And are you learning Spanish?
Of course I'm learning Spanish.
So all those, special lessons and tutors that your dad paid for when you were younger,
did absolutely nothing to prepare me for here.
But is someone kind of coming back? Any of it coming back? The second go around now, is it easier?
Is it easier the second go around? Yes. But the first time I was here, I was more motivated But it is easier now. I will say that.
So tell me, was it hard to make the move down here when some of your friends were against you leaving the States and moving here?
Doing interventions or whatever?
It was very...
Not everybody supported you in the move down here, did they?
Of course not. It really made me question what I was doing. I mean, they were saying what I was giving up or what I was leaving behind for 2 years, and they really made me question my actions, and I didn't really understand why, considering it's like it's not like I'm moving here for the rest of my life, even though being down here I wouldn't mind it, but they made it seem like I was just giving up the USA for the rest of my life, which is not my plan. It was just I'm 20 at the time. I'm 25 years old and trying to have fun in life and experience life. Like, so staying in the same town that I went to high school in is not getting out and experiencing the world. Like, the people that tell me that, let's say, that I was crazy for coming down here, that, oh my goodness, I'm giving up a good life in Florida. Well, it's, you know, it's a good life here. It's a better life, in my opinion.
Again, like, you know, realizing that you are different, realizing that what God has called you to do, you know, you have to follow that, and you have to follow your heart and do that, and not allow peer pressure or other people to influence you. I mean, that happens all the way through, like whether you're 26, right, babe, or whether you're 56, you know, people will try to influence you in what they think is right for your life, and you have to be secure in knowing that, hey, God told me to do this, and I need to be obedient to what God's calling me to do, not what people are telling you to do. You know?
You bet.
So how has living here changed your relationship with your parents? Do you think it's changed our relationship?
I would say more this year than the previous years combined has grown exponentially. Like,
how so?
It's definitely brought us into a different level of communication and growth. And
do you think that's because we've slowed down?
I think it has to do with slowing down and being in the moment, for sure, because it was always go, 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 goal after goal back in the States, trying to accomplish and get somewhere. And now that we're here, not saying there isn't goals, but you're able to sit down and actually reflect on what's going on at the current time and be in the moment and talk.
Well, how is it, like, for instance, like today? You were down at the beach with Stassi, our little four-legger Shih Tzu dog, and your dad comes down, and we just have a few minutes, and it's just, you know, we're on the beach putting our feet in the water and throwing a stick for the dog and taking a few minutes. You know, we really didn't have that. We really didn't take just little moments like that back in the States. What is that like for you, you know, when we're down here?
Well, and the thing too, even though in the States I was, how should I say, had the opportunity and the availability to talk and do something, we never had the time. I know that sounds weird to say, but even though
I agree,
we were always seeing each other or always around each other, we just never had time.
Or made him make the time.
Make the time, yeah. But it's weird to explain, because now that we're here, and it's still, I don't want to say no different, but we're still around each other, but we have more time. Like, we have more time to be in the moment, to think about, and talk. So.
And I don't know, maybe it's just the atmosphere that, you know, we're sitting at the, you know, at the dining room table. Our sliding glass doors are open, and the Pacific Ocean is literally, you know, 30, 40 yards away from where we're sitting. And the sun starts to go down, and Kitty, you say, "Hey, Mom, look at this. The sun's poking through. We're going to see part of the sunset tonight." And you know, we can leave our cell phones here at the table. We can walk out back, walk down, and put our feet in the sand and put our feet in the water, and just really kind of de-stress, de-junk, declutter, and be present with each other.
Yeah, it's just different here. It's hard to explain. But
One major
different.
change that I do enjoy is the social media aspect of being less on your phone, not because you have to or in the sense of you want to be off your phone less, because being down here kind of causes you to be in the moment versus worried about what's going on back home. Like I don't care to go on social media. It's not a big deal. It's enjoyable to not be posting every day, or I guess from being in the IT world and the social media for doing webinars, that's one enjoyment that I have not doing anymore.
One less thing to have to worry about, or one less thing to be concerned about.
Pretty much, yeah.
So tell us one thing you miss about living in the States.
Driving fast.
Yeah, I would have to say it would be cars would be my major thing that I miss. I miss driving and driving fast for sure.
I'm glad you didn't just say driving.
Of course not. No, driving fast and doing what some things would be considered illegal, but it's perfectly fine.
Let's just say pushing the envelope.
Oh, of course.
And tell everybody. Why don't you just tell them what your passion has been since you started buying those specialty cars when you were in high school?
Making BMWs go fast, plain and simple. I mean, there's no other way around it. Go fast.
Well, and just tell me your last one here. What kind of little rubber band motor did you put in that little BMW?
Right before I gave up, right before I left here, I was just finishing up a 2004 BMW M3 with a Corvette LS1, fully built in a gutted out car, and it made a bunch of power. And for anybody who does, LS1 is a Corvette Z06 or a Corvette V8 motor. And
it went fast.
It went fast. It made a lot of horsepower in a car that weighed under 3,000 pounds and was fully built to handle it. Yes.
Okay. That means Dad is staying on his knees, praying more when you have those things.
And besides the cars, I do miss Chick-fil-A. I will say that. Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A. Yes.
Yeah, we don't have Chick-fil-A down here. We have KFC, though. We have Kentucky Fried Chicken.
KFC does not... How are you comparing KFC and Chick-fil-A right now? You can't compare the two.
Okay, so I got like one more question, two more questions, and then we can like sign off. But okay, so would you recommend living abroad to someone that was not sure what they wanted to do with their life and why?
I would fully recommend it. If any doubt in their mind, just go for it. Enjoy the experience and just go on it full force. Don't even question it. Don't stick your toe in. Just jump right in. Do it. It will probably be hard and a change for the first couple weeks, but it is a good change. I will tell you that.
You always know what you can go back to, right?
Exactly. You always can go back. It's not like a forever thing, and it's not like you're giving up and just cutting off completely. It is an experience to try, and at any age, it doesn't even matter. And for some people, it's great. For some other people, it may not be for them, and they can go back, but for other people, they need to. It is nothing like being in the U.S. That is for sure.
And haven't you, I know being in town and stuff, haven't you run into people that are traveling from abroad, whether they're coming from Australia and they're staying here and they stay in hostels, and you've
from Australia, New Zealand, Iceland to Canada to Germany, and they're all amazing, great people, and they're all like-minded too. The people that travel think just like you and me, and it's fun because you can have some great conversation with people. You get to meet some amazing people from all over and share your knowledge with them, and they share with you, and it's fun.
So, Kidla, I think I hear you saying that when you can, before you have all those responsibilities, a wife and kids, or a spouse and kids, and the white picket fence and all that, and the responsibilities, and you don't have the freedom to go, but if you do have that freedom, don't let it hold you back. Get out and do it while you have the freedom and the opportunity.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, tell everybody where you might be going for what some people have on their bucket list. Where would you might be going next month with your family?
Oh, at Peru.
And what will we be seeing down there? Going
Girls.
to Peru? Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu.
The whatever up
Yes,
in the
so you get to go see all the dunes and
the mountains.
Old mountains, but
with the
I
the
wanna go
ancient
to-
civilization. I know you. It's like when your dad takes you on that road
Yes.
trip and pointing out all those wonderful things across the country.
why there's 148 lampposts to the next city. Only you would know. Yes.
Okay, I got one last and final question.
It was 198 lampposts, by the way.
So, has your relationship with the Lord changed since you've moved here?
Yes, it has. Taking away what?
Go ahead. How has it changed? So share a little bit. How it's changed.
Taking away the clutter, the head fog, I guess you can say, or the mental fog, and the clutter to basically think clearer.
That's good.
Mind chatter.
Yeah, it really helps you pull back the curtains and let you focus on what's important. Your priorities change, your priorities shift, and you start to realize what matters most to you and what you want out of life. That's what I can really say while being down here is getting closer to God. You really take for granted everything you have in the States as of the normal. Like in the States, what people consider normal is not normal here. Not saying it's a bad thing. Some people like that lifestyle in the States, and then some people get lost in it. The problem is when you get lost in it, you don't know how to get back, and you don't realize you're lost until it's too late.
Hey, kiddo, did you ever see yourself, in years past, that you might even walk into an orphanage and kick the ball around with some little guys?
Listen, coming from a German car enthusiast, I couldn't have imagined putting an American engine into one of my BMWs, let alone coming to another country. So no, I could not have predicted this a year ago, 2 years ago, let alone prior to even coming to Ecuador. Ecuador was not even anywhere on my radar to going. Like, when you guys said you were going here last summer, I was like, let's see, go to a third world country I've never been to or continue working on my BMWs. Like, I was picking BMWs at the time up until, like, I saw there was, like, surfing and, different.
Well, let me ask you this. When you went up there, what did you feel? Tell everybody your experience with what was it like to have a little, ankle biter grab a hold of your knee and said...
They just want your love. That's it. Simple. They don't want anything more than to show them attention, love, and to talk with them. Hold them.
Do you think it did more for you than it did for them?
Probably. Whether they know that or not, it touched me more, and it's something I will never forget. So it's great.
Well, thanks, kiddo, we had to kind of beg him to do this interview because he really didn't want to, but thank you for doing this interview.
Putting him on the spot.
Yeah.
In the hot seat.
We appreciate
No
you, and I know that everybody's going to love hearing you and hearing what you have to say and giving them nuggets and wisdom, so.
Well, I'm normally the one behind the scenes doing this. But yes.
Okay. You want any more, baby?
No, that's it.
Okay, guys, so tune in next week. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys. Dios te bendiga. Ciao. Talk to you later.
Ciao.
Thank you for listening to the Kingdompreneur Life podcast. Don't forget to join us next week for another inspiring episode. We'd love for you to head over to iTunes to subscribe and leave a review. We love reading all your comments. You can also connect with us on our websites. Pat is CoachPatMartin.com, just like it sounds. CoachPatMartin.com. And Doreen is found at RawDoreen.com. That's RAWDOREEN.com. You can download your free gift that will help you live life uncluttered and rich with purpose.